Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, y'all. Welcome back to the OS Rick Project, the only podcast that promises to have 26 different endings. That one's for all my near fans. Okay, guys, how are y'all? Welcome back to the show. I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. I am recording this on Monday, November 11th, November 7th. Sorry, to be released on the 11th. Guys, I hope you're having a wonderful time, wonderful day. Whether you're listening on your way to work or at work or working out, if you're listening, hanging out, enjoying it, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, guys. Um, let's get started. There is lots to talk about. This is November, the first episode of the month. And you know what I've been doing lately, guys, is at the beginning of every month, I like to just look over all the games that are coming out and just trying to pick out which ones that I am interested in. And November has a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, of course, we got the Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, God of War, Ragnarok, mm, Ogre Tactics Reborn. That's another one that's coming out. I've been seeing people in the Discord talk about, and that's another thing, guys. If you guys want to talk about, want to hang out in the Discord, drop by, um, get hang out over there and get in the whole conversation. I'm always throwing out questions and picking people's brains, and I use it for, it helps me out help me find content for to talk about because it's interesting because you get a whole bunch of different perspective and opinions and thoughts on games and that's something fun. I like that. So yeah, guys, make sure to drop by in there. There should be a link to check it out. Um, Anyways, guys, let's get started with what I've been playing. Back into Near Automata. Automata. So I got all the endings. Well, I got all the main endings: A, B, C, D, and E. And spoilers, guys. Okay. Of course, the game's been out for a good while though. But at the end of the E ending, the game will ask you, do you want to sacrifice your save so you can help out somebody? And it'll ask you, like, give you a bunch of safeguards, like, are you sure? This is somebody you might never meet. This person might not ever thank you. Are you sure you want to sacrifice your save to help them out? So you know what? This game, I have never had a game ever ask me to do that, to sacrifice a save. I had 30 hours in it. I missed a lot of the side stuff, the side quests and everything. I didn't collect everything. I didn't upgrade everything, but I was able to get a nice, I was able to. What I did gather was, and the upgrades I did get, was able to help me get through the game. I never had too many issues getting past things, getting past bosses. So it asked me, "Do you want to sacrifice your save?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I never had a game ever ask me to do that before, and why not?" And sure enough, the game took everything, all the save files, deleted it, and I was like, I was really like surprised that this game did that, and it didn't discourage me from playing the game. And I thought about it too. I was like, what do I do with the save file? I would have stopped playing the game, and it would have just sat there, and maybe come back and do some more side stuff, or I just play the game again and do the side stuff as I go, which I'm doing now. So I've been playing a lot of Near Automata, guys, and and on the Switch for sure. So I would recommend it, guys. If you have never played that game before, it's really fun. It's a really good action game. Real stylized. The story, I I really did enjoy the story, and whoever played the voice actor, and I forget the name. I'm sorry, but whoever the voice actor for 9S, I was really impressed. He did such a good job. So guys, check that one out. I've been doing a lot of Near Automata, and I've been playing Persona 5 Royal on the Switch also. I just finished Kamoshida's The First Palace. I wrapped it up. I wrapped it up in one in-game day. That way, I had the rest of the month so I could focus on my workus so I could focus on all of the building up your stats, building up your attributes, whether it's proficiency, charm, what was it, guys? Proficiency, charm, guts, knowledge, and kindness. So I've been working on that because you need to have them. You have to have them at certain levels so you can advance dialogues with other characters in the game. And also, when I can't do that, I'm also the cats are going crazy. I'm also, working on my bond levels with my confidants. So, been having a blast with that game. It again, playing on the Switch. I've been having zero issues with it. It runs at a solid, 30 frames per second. I have been watching a little YouTube channel, and you guys might have heard of it also, but it's called Digital Foundry, where he'll grab the guys over there. They'll grab whatever game's coming out, and they go check all the frames. The frames per seconds, depending on what settings you play it on, depending on what platform, i.e., console or whatever, and they just break it down and give you the how it performs, and I really like it because especially now in this current situation, in this current generation of consoles and games and PCs, games, they're so big, and they have some of them have the matching price tag to go along with it, and you want to see where these games are stacking up against others, and whether how well do they play on the platform that you're also playing on, because I think that's very important. You gotta have these developers held accountable for what they do. I mean, it's not gonna always make or break a game, but it's definitely something you got to keep your eyes peeled for and looking out. Excuse me, guys, get some coffee. Like I said, it's a long day at work. I'm just hanging out, unwinding. Get a little coffee, get a little water, and just chit chat with you guys. And I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. But yeah, so I've been watching that. We also have God of War Ragnarok literally coming out. Well, by the time you guys are hearing this, the game is already out, and you're probably already playing it. And what are y'all's impressions and thoughts and opinions on the game so far? Because late last week, the early reviews were coming out. I saw them on Twitter, and everybody and their mother was putting this game at 10 out of 10. You know, um, just top scores across the whole board. And when I see something like that, it makes me, not that I want to be a contrarian, but I want to know why. Can this game really be a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece? And I always find it weird. I find it like when you start using the number system, because what separates a 7 from an 8? What separates a 8.5 from a 9, 8.75 from a 9? Well, when you start getting into those kind of numbers and stuff, obviously if you're getting at a 10, I'm guessing it's what is even then, what does that mean, right? Does that mean it's a perfect game? Does it mean it's a great game? Does it mean it overcomes all of the technical issues that other games have, depending on the console and stuff like that? Or, is this something that, it's just very hype, and you kind of have to be, oh, yeah, we got to give it a 10. We can't be that one person to not give it a 10. Or vice versa, right? Oh, everybody's giving it a 10. We're going to give this an 8. So, when I see something just come across just coming out, just all these high scores, I'm curious about it, right? Um, but and that's another thing too, guys. When it comes to these reviewers, um, you kind of have to like pick and choose and know who you can really count on. Is this like say from let's just say you're getting a review from IGN. So IGN is a I guess a corporation, a business, an organization. That's a good one. It's an organization comprised of several people. So when they do the reviews, it could be Steve, it could be Elena. It could be Adam. It could be Sherry. Who I don't know who it is, and I don't follow each and every person to have to have a track record on how they rate games or what they think about these games or what games are in their wheelhouse. So I always find it strange, or I take it with a big grain of salt, I should say, when you look at these organizations and they have their different reviews, because not only does not cats. I mean, and this could go with anybody, right? It could go with Game Informer or just name whatever random video game review organization is out there, right? Unless you, I don't want to say unless, but without knowing who it is giving the reviews, and you get to at least know what they're about, it's going to be difficult to actually gauge how they're gonna, like, what are their merits or their point system when it comes to rating a game. But 10 out of 10, that's big. uh, when the God of War 2018 came out, I was kind of in a similar boat where I saw all these reviews come out, and when I finally got around to playing it, I didn't get it and pick it up until maybe almost a year later, when it was on Sony PlayStation Online's March Madness sale, and I got it at a discount. And I played it for a while, and I put it down, and I came back and I played it, and then I finally finished it. But I thought it was a good game. Probably out of all of the first studio developers from Sony, that was probably the one I actually completed and enjoyed the most. The Horizon Zero, never finished it. Ghost of Tsushima, never finished it. Toulouse, never finished it. Uncharted, never played them. Spider-Man, never finished it. So I mean, that could be on me. There's just not what Sony puts out isn't really what I'm after. But yeah, I eventually do plan on playing Ragnarok. It'll probably wait till after everything kind of dies down, cools off, and maybe if I find it on sale or something. So we'll see. But it being so close to the holiday release, the holiday window, I doubt it'll be going on sale anytime soon. But that's fine. I know I have several friends that are going to be interested in playing it, and we'll be talking about it. So I'll probably get their opinion on it and take it from there. But honestly, uh, the specs that I've seen on how it runs on performance mode on the PlayStation 5, I think that's going to be what I think that's going to be. I think it's going to be looking great. Whatever Santa Monica Studios did over there to make it run, because I was looking at a little bit of the Digital Foundry review, and one of the developers says at its heart, God of War Ragnarok is a PlayStation 4 game. And it makes sense, right? With Sony still having support for the last gen consoles, they want to make sure the games run well. Make sure it runs well enough for the last gen, and really good for the current gen for sure, right? So, especially after the whole conversation we've been having with Warner Brothers Montreal having Gotham Knights at 30 frames per second on consoles. It's like, I think this is really good showing for Sony, just to show you, like, this is what they can do when you know how to, really optimize your game for the platform. That being said, I still find it weird that Sony is reluctant to put their games on PC. If they do, it's years later as an afterthought, which is a real shame, because I feel like there is a lot of people out there that would be willing to play the game if they were able to play it on their rig, on their PC, on their setup. Because some people don't want to go out after after finally getting their PC, their gaming PC set up. They probably don't want to go out there and drop another $500 on a console just to play some exclusive. So I mean, I don't know if Sony will ever think to maybe, I don't know if maybe Sony will eventually consider PC to be as a high priority as it is for PlayStation. But right now, I highly doubt it. I think they're going to just focus on what they've been doing. And I mean, honestly, I guess if it's working for them, it's working for them, right? I mean, if anything, anybody that's on the PC side, including myself, there's lots of other games to be playing in the meantime. So it is what it is. But anyways, guys, let me know, sound off on what your thoughts are and impressions and opinions on God of War Ragnarok. Should everyone play this day one? Should people wait? Is it overhyped? Is the hype well deserved? Well worth it? Let me know, guys, because I'm interested in this game. So let's shift gears, guys. Let's go from Western developers to Japanese developers, and one that's, I want to say, near and dear to my heart. Was near and dear to my heart back when they were Square, but now they're SquareEnix. The devil. No, I'm kidding. So SquareEnix says they're working on this new game called Symbiogenesis. I might have pronounced that wrong. Symbiogenesis. It's a new NFT collectible experience from Square Enix. I think we talked about it before, guys, where the president of Square Enix, I forgot his name, guys. I wrote it down somewhere, but it's somewhere in the pages. They talked about NFTs. This is the future. They want to focus on that. And then back in September, no, even before that, in the summer, right? The NFT market just crashed. These guys are still want to focus on the NFTs. Now, you guys know my opinion on NFTs and how I feel about it. But the bigwigs at Square Enix feel like this is something they should follow, keep pursuing. To who? Like, who's this appealing to? Like, who's going to go out there and say, yeah, I'm going to buy NFTs for a video game? Like, come again? I mean, look, Square Enix is also, I also been seeing this, is they've also been selling, they have this Cloud Strife figure that, like, I think it's like priced at $150. But then if you get the special one, the deluxe one, like at a $180, you'll get the figure and a matching NFT. It's like, they really just want to focus on this stuff. Okay, let's just, and I thought about this, guys, right? Maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe I'm not seeing, maybe I'm too short-sighted. I'm missing the big picture, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, in a optimal world for Square Enix, this actually pans out. Okay, let's just pretend, all right? This actually works. It goes crazy. People are loving it. They love collecting, NFTs, whether it's an Eris or a Tifa or, a random, character from any other IPs, and it's selling like crazy. People are loving it, right? Let's just say that does happen. How soon do you think EA or Activision Blizzard or Sony or Nintendo will look over and be like, hey, that's working? We need to jump on that. We need to get our trademark IPs and start making NFTs. Can you imagine, guys, if that was the case? If this actually does, for some weird reason, actually takes off? I will guarantee you guys that the other companies, these other developers, other, businesses would jump ship and start their own thing. And is it possible that it could happen? Maybe. But I highly doubt it. NFTs have just been getting a bad rap since they've been coming out. It being used as like this, I don't see it. I mean, I think there is a place and time for NFTs, but to use it just to have little. And I think Steam has it, and I'm not saying Steam has it as in NFTs, but Steam has it where, like, you play certain games long enough, you'll get like these little collectible baseball cards, that have little images of the game that you're playing. And like I've have some of them, and I don't know what they do. I just keep them in my collection. I guess that's a kind of form of NFT. I'm not too sure. I don't know, but I just find it strange that Square Enix still does not want to let this go. They want to focus on this. You know, maybe it's part of the whole statement that they released last week, and we talked about it, guys, in the previous episode, where Square Enix says they want to focus more in a more global market. Maybe they feel NFTs is something that could help fill that niche. Um, I don't know, guys. Sound off. Let me know what you think about it because I doubt this will take off. And I'm not trying to be a naysayer, right? Even though I'm really good at it, but if this does pick up, would you want to see the other companies follow suit? Toadstool, NFTs, Price, or Soap, NFTs, or Diablo? Like, can you imagine? I mean, I wouldn't hold it past Activision Blizzard to. I wouldn't put it past them if they did that. To tell you the truth. Um, I've been seeing lately on there, Kojima has rejected offers. Has rejected offers from people wanting to buy his studio, and he wants to. And he quoted, "I want to make what I want to make," and I think that's really good for Kojima. Of course, the guy's earned it. He's been around in the business since forever, since the late '80s, early '90s, making video games. And ever since the fallout between Kojima and Konami, it makes sense that make games that he wants to make and put them out, even though they are kind of divisive. With the recent, well, not recent actually, but the Death Stranding release. Some people love it, some people hate it. I feel like it's a game that everyone should experience and try it out. I don't think it's the best game, and honestly, this is a really good conversation piece, but you can ask anybody, who played the game. Like, I always ask them, you know, that the people that really love the game, I always ask them, say, would you still play Death Stranding if Kojima's name was not attached to it? And some people are like, good question, because I feel that might be a big part of it, right? But anyways, that's not the point, guys. But the thing is, what matters is the fact that he's been in the business for so long that he can reject offers to do what he wants to do, and I think that's a good model, a good mindset to be in, for everybody, because I would hate, if let's just say, guys, let's go back to pretend world, right? Like, hey, Rick, we like your podcast, we want to buy it, but we're going to want you to talk about this stuff, and then we want you to segue into this stuff, and then at the very end we want you to talk about this, and then wrap it up with that. And in the meantime, we're going to have some commercials playing here, and like, no, and then this is going to be your partner, and this is going to be your guest. Like, no, 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 no. I think being as and I really do think Kojima is a really good storyteller, even though, yeah, sometimes that's a little out there, but I think he is a really good storyteller. And him being able to do what he wants, to tell you what he wants to, the story that he wants to lay out for you, I think that's very important, and not just for him, but for any developer. So, anybody out there that's, working, not so much, not even on just, it doesn't even have to be video games, right? If it's your own music, your own content, whatever it is, stay independent. Do what you love doing. Don't sell out unless you feel like, you really feel like the money's going to help you and put you in a spot where you want to be. And, that's going to be something that is going to vary and come down to each individual person, right? I mean, hell, I understand if you have something and you want to sell and because you need to take care of some stuff. I understand. But you know, Kojima able to stick to his guns. And I mean, of course, I mean the guy, like I said, the guy's been around forever. He has, I'm pretty sure he has the financial backing to do what he wants and stay independent. But I just like hearing that, knowing that he's gonna do what he wants to do when he wants to do, no matter what. Even though if it's not always something that I love, if it's not always something that I am crazy about, the fact that he is still doing, and not just him though, anybody, right? Any content creator, because that's what at the end of the day, that's what you want to see, right? People doing what they want to do without feeling like they're obligated just because they got a big old, paycheck waiting for them. So, um, good for him. And again, and especially after the whole fallout between Kojima and Konami, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's something he never wants to ever go through again. Because I mean, think about it, guys. You create something, and then they're like, "Yeah, we don't like that. Cut that out, and I want you to add this." And I know, forget that. Excuse me. Um, let's go back to Sony, guys. Let's talk about. You guys might been able to see some of this already, maybe caught wind of it. Um, the PlayStation VR 2. I think they're taking pre-orders already. If not now, they're taking some pretty soon. But they plan on launching it in February of 2023, and it will be priced at $550. $550, guys, for a PlayStation VR 2. Now, there's probably like two people that have the PSVR that came out with the PlayStation 4. Um, do you guys still use it? Do you like it? It's awesome. How big is VR gaming for you guys? Like, how often? And I'm not trying to sound condescending, right? I'm actually curious, right? How often the people will have VR headsets, and that's across the whole spectrum, right? Whether it's the Oculus, whether it's the one from Steam. I think, does Steam have one? Am I wrong there, guys? Let me correct me, please. Is it the PlayStation One? Um, Across all the VR platforms, how often do you use it compared to when you're playing video games on your console or your PC? Excuse me, guys. Because I don't, and again, maybe just because I don't use the VR, it doesn't mean no one else has used it. But I never hear anyone talk about how much fun they're having with their VR headset. I just don't hear it at all. I mean, I have one friend that has it, but plays it on occasion, here and there. Um, but beyond that, I don't know. I mean, how? And then when you see these games, you always see the games where they're like, it's the VR experience, the VR effect. It's like these little, they're almost like demo link games that are out there, or very small games. I mean, nothing like, are you gonna have something of a quality of God of War Ragnarok on the VR? Something where Sony has spent this much time and effort to get it up and running, or something as on a large scope or as a magnitude as Elden Ring. Like, I haven't seen any games of that much weight, or that can have that much impact, be released on the VR. I mean, maybe because the technology isn't there, or maybe because people are just haven't adopted it yet, right? But I have tried it before, the VR, the PlayStation VR, the one that came out with the PlayStation. But I got motion sickness so quick. And I don't know how it's gonna vary for some people. And I've heard some people say, "Well, you should take some I forgot the name of the drug to help with motion sickness." I'm like, I am not gonna take a drug just to play a VR game. I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. If this is giving me motion sickness, it's just not meant for me. Or maybe the technology just isn't there. Also, the price at $550. Now, guys, I did some super sleuth investigations, right? And this isn't a standalone VR headset. Okay, just because you buy this VR headset doesn't mean right out of the box you're gonna be able to just connect it to a monitor and start playing. No, you gotta have a PlayStation 5. So not only do you have that 550 price tag, you gotta have a PlayStation 5. Yes, they're getting more readily available. Yes, they're more easy to find and pick up. Yes, they still cost $500. $500 and $400, right? So at just over $1,000 to play a VR game, I could grab that money and make me a nice, a solid, a steady, budget friendly. And don't confuse budget with cheap, guys. All right, budget does not mean cheap. It's just budget means which is within your means, within your means. But with $1,000, dude, you could build a nice, decent budget gaming PC. I just let that sink in, guys. They said they're gonna have over 20 titles in development. They have 20 titles in development. One of them is Horizon Call of the Mountain, a VR game. Um, okay, and then so let's compare it also to the Oculus. The Oculus, I think those guys are. I saw the ones that Zuckerberg Zuckerberg over from Facebook owns, and that one is $400. Recently, they increased the price, um, but that one you can use it as a standalone, or you could hook it up to your PC, and you can play with it. So, I'm curious, guys. I'm curious. Let me know. Because I do not plan on getting the PlayStation VR. Another thing too, the OG, the regular PlayStation VR. My wife picked it up. There was lots of cables. Cables are everywhere. Cables, 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 cables. Now they did say that the VR2 will have only one cable that runs from the headset, I guess, to the console or whatever. So that's a lot easier to manage for sure. Not get tangled up in that, but I just don't see the demand for it yet. Maybe the lower price point. Maybe if I knew there were more games coming out, we could probably rock with that. But right now, guys, I'm not really feeling it. Let's talk about. Let's shift gears, guys. Let's go more into the PC side. So recently, um, AMD has announced their RDNA 3 RX 790 XT and RX 7 or 7900 XTX. Their new graphics cards. These are gonna be coming around in December. Um, Apparently, they're still gonna be up there in price. $1,000 and $900, so they're still kind of pricey. But the fact is, I like that AMD's come out with stuff, because not only does it cause the other guys to compete for your dollar, so it causes innovation. Just it's better to have competition, right? Make the other guys do something different and better. But with all this stuff coming out, you're just getting more options, and I think that's good, because take it from me, guys. I enjoyed console gaming for the longest. I loved it. I thought it was great. You just go in, you grab your console, you hit a button, you turn it on, you're ready to go, done. But after getting my PC, guys, yes, there's a little bit more stuff you got to do to make sure everything's up and running, but the fact that you have so many options to customize it to exactly what you want it to be, what you want it to do, is, in my opinion, well worth it. Even if you have to pay a little bit extra, I like that. And with AMD releasing these new cards, I'm not saying that, race out and grab these new cards. Not at all. I'm saying that because of this newer stuff coming out, the older stuff hopefully will be lowering in prices, or be more readily available, or just just give you more options to build stuff, because you really can go, because recently AMD released their CPUs, Intel has released their CPUs and GPUs, Nvidia just talked about releasing their RTX 4090, that monster of a card. So there's definitely options, and again, it's not about getting the latest and greatest, because even just because something new is out and released, it doesn't mean what you have now is going to suddenly just drop in frames, or suddenly going to start stuttering, or suddenly just not be adequate enough. It takes time for the developers to catch up with the technology, right? Just because it's out there, that's great, but if you're in the same boat as I am, where you play at 1080p, anywhere between 60 to 120 frames per second, as long as your game is solid, steady, and smooth, I mean, what else can you possibly ask for? I mean, yeah, I never found the value in RTX. I mean, yeah, the lighting looks nice. That's cool. I mean, what else does it do? Oh, and reflections in the water? Okay. Nice. I just need the game to be steady and solid. And yeah, with the new stuff, you could probably get that if you really wanted. But if you're looking at, more older GPUs, older CPUs, it could run the game at a nice steady pace, easily. So just keep your eyes out for that, guys. New GPUs are being coming out, like right now, guys. This is the time. If you've been thinking about getting into PC gaming, this is the time to do it, because there's just lots of options out there right now. What else, guys? Anything else I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. One more thing before we wrap it up, guys. I'll let you go. I saw that they will be having Evo Japan, in Evo Japan next year, between March 21st through April 2nd. They've announced some of the games already. I'm going to rattle them off, guys. Tell me which I think. They have Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Guilty Gear Strive, King of Fighters 15, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, and Virtual Fighter 5. I've played all of those games minus Virtual Fighter. I dabbled in a Virtual Fighter way back when, but I mean, it was a long time ago, guys. So I really can't remember talking about much about that franchise. But these other games, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, getting a spot in Evo Japan, I think that's great. That's awesome. That game was really fun. It's fun. It just, you guys heard me say this already, but it just came out at the wrong time. At the very worst time. It came out in March 2019, right before the pandemic. So that was before they were, developers knew to implement rollback netcode for their fighting games. But that game really is a really fun game. Check it out, guys. Especially if you're new to fighting games, that will probably be a good starting game to play out, because you can be very technical with it, and do your executions to and execute your moves to get that done. Or you could use the shortcuts, which puts you on that has some drawbacks to it. It goes on cooldown, they're slightly weaker, but that does give you all the tools to play the game and really get in there. And they have a lot of stuff, and it's a gorgeous game. It really is. But so I'm glad that's getting a spotlight at Evo Japan. Guilty Gear Strive, that's been I played that game a lot recently, back in at the end of September and beginning of October, but then I fell off. I've been taking a break. Like I said, I blame Nier and Persona, because I've been sidetracked with those games. But Guilty Gear Strive, it's been the latest fighting game that I've been playing, and I've been enjoying it a lot. King of Fighters 15. want to say I want to like King of Fighters, but they haven't done anything that makes me want to go back and play it. And it's a shame because I mean, there's a lot of I know. Okay, I take that back. I don't know. There's a lot, but I know some SNK fans. I know some King of Fighter fans, but it's just fighting games are just a tough spot right here on the US side because it's very niche. You have to put in a lot of work, and if you play them, you're probably gonna get your face stomped in. And people don't like that, right? They want to win, they want to play, they want that W, right? But you don't get that with fighting games right away. You have to put in work. You have to spend hours working on your combos and executing and knowing the matchups and knowing what to do and watching other videos and then trying to mimic that and know in what situations you can use those combos. So it takes a lot of work. And you're probably going to get beat, you know? And it does suck. I've been there. It's not fun, especially when you go online, queue up for a match, you try to hit something and you just get crushed and mollywopped. It's not fun. That's why I always say that when it comes to fighting games, it's great to have a circle of friends to play with. That to me is the peak of fighting games. When you get to hang out with your friends, be silly, goof off, and just have a great time and actually talk about what's going on and there's nothing that compares to that, honestly. So I mean, being able to play online, that's great, but when you get to play with your friends, there's nothing that beats that. And I actually miss when I used to have the gang come over on Friday nights and play fighting games because that was some of the best times for games. When playing video games that I had. And unfortunately, like I said, guys, I mean, like I said, fighting games are hard. If you don't put in that practice and dedication, it's not gonna you're not gonna get better by not playing, and when you're getting beat, it's just not fun. So I mean, and I can see why the other games, the other genre games are more fun for people to play because it's easier to get in, right? I mean, you could go and play. Here's the part where I talk shit about Fortnite, guys. But you could pick up Fortnite or any BR game or any name whatever Zoomer game there is out right now, and you could play, jump in, you die, okay, no problem. You jump right back in, pick up where you left off, get the favorite skin or loadout that you want, and get back in the game. And the only thing you lose is maybe you lost a couple of minutes because you died early, and then you just queue up and get back in. So no harm, no foul, right? Fighting games, like I said, it's different. And if you lose, it's because you lose. It's because it's on you. You took that beating. You try to take that throw. You try to wake up with the DP. If you lose, it's because of you, and if you win, it's because of you. So, oh, what else? Multi Blood. Those guys over there at French Bread, they're doing something right, in my opinion. Everything they put out is free. They're doing updates. They're telling you when things are coming out for their game. They're having characters for free. Like, kudos to French Bread, man. Keep it up, guys. You're awesome. I really can't wait to hear about Unis 2 or Uniclear 2 because that's the one. I'll leave it at that, guys. Street Fighter 5. I mean, that's going to be around. That's still going to be getting spots until Street Fighter 6 comes out. I did see somewhere, just reading around, on Twitter and Reddit, where they don't. People are speculating that Street Fighter 6 probably won't come out till after April. And previously, I thought, I predicted that it'll be out sometime in March, in February. But we'll see. I don't know. At this point, it's all speculation. I know they do plan on having Resident Evil 4 coming out. I talked about it in the last episode, guys, but they do have Resident Evil coming out. What time is it? No, what time? When is it coming out? In March. So I wouldn't be surprised if they put another of their big time game, another month or two down the road compared after the Resident Evil release. So we'll see. Tekken 7. I mean, what can you say about Tekken 7? The game's been around forever. And again, I talked about it last week. Tekken 8, the Steam page, the Steam page storefront is up. So look out for that one. And again, Virtua Fighter, never really played it, guys, so I have nothing to say. But going back to Evo Japan, I know they had it. The first one was a couple of years ago, back in I want to say it's 2017, 2018. And then they took a break from it, and I think it had this weird debacle, guys. There's weird, something weird about it, where because in Japan, uh, you and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, or look it up, but in Japan, fighting game tournaments don't have a payout because it's considered a game of luck, and so it's gambling, which gambling is illegal over there. But if you have an esports license, you're able to participate in tournaments that have payouts. Um, I know there was a controversy because Momochi even decided not to get one of these licenses. And I don't know if you just apply and they give it to you, or they give it to someone they deemed is worthy of getting it. But he just stuck to his guns and did not get one, and just won the tournament and played it without getting either of them, without getting the pot bonus. And kudos for him, man. Making it, you want to make a stand, that's how you do it, right? Let everybody know, like, this ain't about the money. This is about, they have to change the ways. But like I said, guys, that was a while ago. I could be totally wrong and outdated, so please look it up. But them returning Evo Japan back to, coming back again, I think that's awesome. And I think at one point, and it's gone through different hands now, right? I think now Sony has a piece of Evo, and I don't know who else has in there. I know we talked about it before, but I got to research on that, re up on that. But I remember at one time the previous owners of Evo, they wanted, like Evo Europe, Evo Australia, Evo, EU, or Evo the what's it like in the Middle East and stuff. But they wanted like different regional Evos and stuff like that, which I mean I thought that would have been great, but I guess it didn't pan out, or they're still kind of working on the logistics for that. And it's gonna vary, right? Because you can't always have, you know, well, I'm sure you can, but it's gonna be a very tall order to, work out all the logistics to have a fighting game tournament all over the world, right? I mean, just think about it. You got to find a venue, people to host it, people to get there. You got to bring in the players. What are the laws? What do they need for their visas? What can they? Like, I mean, and it's when you have so many types of people that come from all different walks of life, some people might not feel comfortable going to some places in the world, or maybe some places of the world won't accept other people because of where they're from or who they are. So, I mean, that's something they got to work out also. So, if they can just start off with Evo Japan, I think that's awesome. I want to say they've done one, maybe two in the past, and I think this is going to be the third one. But we'll have to look it up, guys, and figure it out. But I think that's it for this week, guys. I know it's been a little erratic. I kind of went over my time last month, so I took like a week break. But I got some episodes coming up, guys. And like I said, I've been getting stuff, writing down, taking notes. Even when the episodes weren't being released, I'm still taking notes and recording some stuff, guys. And right now, it's that time of year where my job gets super crazy, super nuts. I'm coming home super late, but so the schedule still might be erratic. But if you just stick around, listen, follow me on the socials. I'll try to post up there and when it all comes out. Guys, if you guys want to help support the channel, I mean, you can always, I'm always willing to take donations. I'm not trying to, make money and live off this podcast. I just want it to be self-sustained, right? Just to cover self. So if you guys like what you hear and you want to help out, you feel you want to throw us a couple of bucks, throw a couple of bucks. I would really appreciate it. If I understand money is tight right now, but if you also want to help out, you could tell your friends, you could share it, you could retweet, you know, retweeting, retweeting is free. Giving likes is free. Reposting is free. So you guys want to help out? That's another way that you can do it. And you guys just want to, I love streaming. You guys could drop in there and say hello. Twitch.tv OS underscore R1CK, and always on YouTube. You guys could catch the video version of the podcast there. I have thought about taking down the podcast part and just making it all a video, but I think right now we'll keep the podcast part running, and we'll have the video up there on just YouTube. We'll see. But anyways, guys, that's it for me for today. Go enjoy God of War. Tell me what you think of it. I'm not gonna be jumping on it day one. I'll be waiting, but I want to hear what y'all think about it. Y'all's experiences, because I think that's one of the fun things about with these big time releases, right? For me, it was Elden Ring when that came out. You get with your friends, you talk about your experience with the game, where you're at, what you've been doing, the different items, the different builds, and I think God of War is gonna give that to a lot of people. Hang out with your friends, talk about it, and share experiences. And not only that game, but any game, right? If there's something coming out and you and your friends are all excited for, yeah, get together and talk about it and share y'all's experiences, because that's another fun part about gaming, right? You can enjoy these little triumphs that you achieve on your own, but when you get to talk to your friends about it, that's also a very fun thing to do, right? And not just those games, any game, right? Whether your card games, tabletop games, you name it. Go out there, guys, have fun, take care of yourselves, get some rest. I will see you guys next time. All right, bye, guys. Love you.